15 money saving habits which you can develop for you to be able to, first of all, save money in a fast way and in a reliable and consistent way. And by the way, a good number of adults out there struggle with saving, and yet it doesn't need to be complex. That's why I'm making this video for you to start saving immediately utilizing these tips. And most adults out there do think saving comes from maybe making a lot of money and shoving money from somewhere imaginary. No, you need to look for this money, create room for you to save, and stay disciplined. That is where I'm going to focus in these 15 tips. You are all much welcomed. My name is Afagza Sifuna. In case you are new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Join so that you can be catching up on daily amazing videos around matters money. While you still at it, drop a like on this video. Having said that, the very first tip is that whenever you get your salary, pay yourself first. I know that might confuse a number of people out there. There is a reason as to why I'm saying pay yourself first. That is going to put you in a mind frame of including your reward, your payment in the budget. And if you do that, chances are you won't end up spending money on your appetites or things you desire which you haven't planned for, because you're going to pre-think about what you want to do, the entertainment you want to have, the self-development you want to have before you do spend. And that is very important, because a number of adults out there do spend money on things they hadn't planned because they feel like, because maybe they have other triggers, and that really hurts them big time. And tied to that, the second tip is that create and follow a budget. A budget is a financial tool which is very essential in assisting you to be able to follow a given financial plan. So today, create a budget which is going to specify where all your incomes are coming from, where is the inflow, and most importantly, what your expenses are. That way, you'll be able to allocate your money to things which matter. You won't just, for example, be receiving money and deciding, I want to go and do shopping for my house. I want to go and do shopping for clothes. Once you have a budget, it's going to enable you be able to stick to your budget, which is very important, because with the budget, you won't offshoot your planned expenses, because expenses do drain lots of people's money out there. And then the third tip is automate savings. Just because you plan to save through a budget, maybe you've said each and every month, you're going to save 10% of the money you are getting. Saying it is one thing, doing it is another thing. And more so, if you are not doing it, chances are you're going to struggle to do it. Not because you're a bad person, it's just because that is not your routine. You aren't used to doing that. That is why the power of automation kicks in. In case you can automate, once the money hits your bank account, 10% automatically goes to a given specific saving, which maybe is a fixed account or a fixed investment. You can't lay your hands on it for a given number of months. That is going to assist you develop saving discipline. Utilize standing order and other mechanisms of automatic sending of money to a savings account or even a investment account that is fixed. And then the fourth tip is that ensure you build an emergency fund. What do I mean? People out there think you need just to plan for saving, but look at it this way. In case emergencies hit you and you haven't planned for emergencies, chance is you'll end up borrowing money, or even you'll end up tapping into your saving, therefore affecting the saving you're going to be doing. That is why you need to plan for emergency fund and ensure at any time you have somewhere between 3 months to 6 months of your subsistence for you to be in at least an okay position. And I'm saying so because emergencies happen. Maybe the car tire bursts, okay? Maybe there's a medical bill, okay? Maybe there's someone close to you who urgently needs money on a short-term notice. Just plan to have some savings somewhere as emergency fund. And by the way, it doesn't need to be in a bank account. Even you can put it in an MMF, which is the money fund for MMF, and then you can access it with ease if you need to access it at any particular point in time, okay? And then the fifth tip for you is keep your saving money or saving account separate from your expenses account or your spend account. One of the biggest mistakes most adults out there do, they get paid a salary in a given bank account, okay? They do spend for a particular bank account, okay? And then they seriously believe they're gonna save money in the same bank account. Very few adults out there have the discipline to do that. That is why it is important to have that distinction, okay? That distinction is very important to enable you know and be in a mental space whereby you know a given account or a given fixed maybe investment area is for savings. That is going to assist you honor your saving plan as opposed to jangling everything together. Because once you tell yourself you're going to have your money in one pot, chances are you're going to offshoot your expenses, or even so, you just outrightly not honor your savings plan. Okay? And then the sixth tip is that ensure you save every percentage of a windfall you get. As adults out here, occasionally you do get windfalls. Maybe it is allowances from maybe job, maybe you travel somewhere, you got an allowance. Maybe it is an extra gig, you did some consultancy for someone, you got maybe a payment for consultancy fee. Or even maybe your talent is starting to pick up. You are getting extra income, which you might consider a windfall. Ensure you have a plan already pre-planned to save a percentage of that, so that that new money you are getting or that particular windfall doesn't surprise you, or even worse off, you don't end up spending the entire amount of money on your entertainment and neglect you are saving. Ensure you have the discipline to deduct or allocate a percentage of any windfall you get now or any windfall you're going to get in future towards your saving. That way, you're going to be improving and increasing your saving amount each and every day. Okay? And then the seventh tip for you is avoid lifestyle inflation by all means. Look at this scenario. A person, maybe called Eric, okay, has been working very hard for 5 years without even a salary increment. And then at the fifth year, maybe they get a new job where their salary doubles. Please note, Eric has been surviving very well, right? But as soon as their salary double, they feel like they need a house whose rent is double. They need to get a car on loan. They need to get new clothes. They need to change environment, new hobbies, basically everything new, just because the money has increased from salary. That is a wrong move. And that is an example of lifestyle inflation. Why should you inflate your lifestyle and yet the fundamentals around savings and investments haven't been ramped up that big? Because you need to scale up investments and savings to an extent that even if someone takes away your job, you don't need your salary because you're getting extra income. So avoid the pressure to increase or inflate your lifestyle. It doesn't help anyone. It just affects you in the long run. Okay? And then the eighth tip for you is track how you are doing regularly. Of course, it begins with you having a budget, tracking your expenses to see how you're faring when it comes to comparing with what you had planned. You tracking your financial goals around, for example, increasing your income. Just because you have a plan, it doesn't mean you've finished the journey towards saving or even increasing your income. Ensure you do tracking regularly and ensure you have a standing cadence of doing that. For example, are you tracking weekly? Are you tracking monthly? That way, you're going to assist yourself be able to save and also hit other goals you might have. Talking about goals, the next one is be clear on what your financial goals are. If you don't have financial goals, the money you get, you're going to use it frivolously because anything that looks like a want is going to become your financial goal. But if, for example, you say you want to save 1 million shilling this year, you want maybe to save maybe 2 million towards the project you want to do around housing. Maybe you want to unlock money 4 million towards investment. That being deliberate on your financial goal, that purpose is going to assist you progress very well, okay? And then the 10th tip for you when it comes to you being able to save is avoid high interest debt. It is inevitable at some point in life as an adult, you'll need debt, which in business sometimes is typically called leverage. But the most important thing is try your level best to avoid high interest debt. And that's so because high interest debt is going to eat into your future cash flows. Yes, you might be having a pressure at this particular point in time to maybe get money, right? But then again, if you're getting that money at a high interest rate, it means in future you'll have to dig deeper in your pockets for you to be able to fulfill that debt obligation. Because remember, you're going to pay the principal, the amount you borrowed, together with interest. And what most people out there don't realize is that most at times, even financial institutions, the methodology which they use to give you debt or loan is called floating interest rate on loans, which basically mean your interest rate, which you're supposed to be paying each and every month, basically the amount you're supposed to be paying each and every month, might be changing based on how the interest rate changes. Case in point, in case in an economy, there is maybe depression, there is recession, or even runaway inflation. Basically, we have a scenario which triggers interest rate to go very high. Whatever the scenario is, that is going to hit you badly because it means the amount you're supposed to pay your financial institution is going to be run away. So try right from the onset, negotiate for a low cost interest rate on debt before you get into it. And then the 11th tip for you is you need to develop the ability to delay the urge for instant gratification. Basically put, a good number of people out there, in fact, most people, in case they desire something, whether they're craving something or they want something, please not have and say they need something. Needs are very specific, wants are subjective and even anchored on how we feel. They want that thing instantly. You need to develop that ability to delay gratification. If you can develop the ability to delay gratification, you'll conquer more than 50% of your problems because you won't be making rash financial decisions because you'll know you need to take time to think. You'll know you need to take time to reflect before you rush on anything. And that is the power of you learning to delay gratification so that you make a decision that is best for you without acting based on emotions or even cravings you have at any particular point in time. Okay? And then, guys, the 12th tip for you is that you need to live below your means. Simply put, purpose to live below your means. Case in point, if you are getting a salary of 100,000 Kenya shillings and you are looking for a rental unit at 50k Kenya shillings, that is a bad move. Okay? Because it means you're going to be struggling to survive. Reason being, you are offshooting your income. So by all means, try and ensure you live below your means. Because by you purposing to live below your means, you're going to be able to create room for you to save. You're going to be able to create room for you to invest. Don't just sit there and saying you are okay. You are spending all the money you are getting and you are okay. Purpose to save, purpose to invest, and through that, you will be able to save, you will be able to invest, and most importantly, you'll gain traction towards your quest to become financially free. That is a big thing for most adults out there, which they typically do overlook. Okay? And then the next important thing for you is that, as point number 13, use chamas or any informal kind of like congregations opportunities to invest and grow money wisely. What do I mean? Chamas, more so in Kenya, are opportunities which create a mechanism to assist people save money. Yes, they might not be getting an interest on their saving, they might not be making a profit, but then again, it assists you have a discipline of taking a given amount of money each and every month and dedicating a particular amount of money somewhere. Have it stay there, whether it's for a few months, for 1 year, and then you're going to get a lump sum later on. Chamas are a sample model on how you need to go about saving. Basically, have the discipline to shove aside a given amount of money each and every month. In case you never saved before, chamas could be a good starting point for you. But of course, do your own due diligence. Not all chamas are anchored on ideal fundamentals. Do your due diligence and then decide if you want to join a given chama or not. Because you can join a chama where you end up losing your money too. So research first before you jump onto any chamas, but that is going to avail you a good starting point, okay? And then the 14th saving tip for you is that try your level best. I know this is quite hard, but try your level best to always save the most of your salary increment. In case, for example, where you're working right now, the salary is increased by 30%. Why not challenge yourself to say you're going to save 25% and maybe just utilize a small percentage for any additional responsibilities you have or any essential upgrades you need in your life if you need to upgrade in the first place. That way, you'll be in a given momentum whereby even future salary increases won't really shake you to offset your lifestyle, because either way you are used to living in a given steady bandwidth, and any future increments won't shock you. That is how you prepare yourself to handle big money and use big money for savings and investments, because you've been doing that for a minute. Don't just see your salary being increased and then you also wake up and increase your expenses. That is a wrong move. Aim to save the most of the increase that you're going to get at your workplace. And then the 15th and last tip for you is, with each review which you do, because remember I told you need to be reviewing progress regularly, celebrate the small wins. Most people out there are very hard on themselves, okay? Maybe they always tell themselves, I just need to keep going, I need to keep. But then again, along the way, you are gaining small wins here and there. If you've never saved before and you do save consistently for 6 months, why not even tell yourself you're going to purchase yourself lunch? Maybe to tell yourself thank you for sticking to the given plan and ensuring you made it happen. Of course, all this you're going to do within budget, but celebrate small wins. That celebration of small wins keep you going. And also in line with that, in case you are having a challenge following all these, maybe have an accountability partner, and also you can be jointly celebrating small wins along the way as you are making progress towards achieving your saving goals, and most importantly, working towards you being financially free. What do you all think about this video? Do you think these saving tips are very actionable and tips which you can utilize starting tomorrow for you to be able to become financially free at the end? Cheers, guys. I look forward to share with you other amazing videos next time. Take care.